Hey everybody, this is the Mage of Ancients and I'm back with another episode of Player Tested. Before I get to today's topic, I do want to encourage you guys, if you haven't so already, to check out my first episode. I have done some test hands of the card Iron Draw from Battles of Legend Relentless Revenge, and I determined whether or not it's a viable draw card, especially since I'm testing Ancient Gears, one of my favorite decks, in that episode. So again, if you guys haven't seen it already, then there will be a link to that at the end of this video, and the link will also be in the description. But with all that being said and done, today I'm going to be talking about a card that I think that not a lot of people play, but I still think that this is a pretty good tech card. So the final matchup at the World Championship this past weekend was Trickstars versus Altergeist. To put it simply, the Trickstar player barely did anything that was Trickstar related. Maybe he activated like 2 copies of Light Stage, and then I don't know. I guess that player wasn't barely able to do anything with that Light Stage. But that player pretty much summoned only 1 copy of Trickstar Licorice, and he couldn't even activate 1 reincarnation during that final match at all. Well, the Trickstar player was actually able to win the entire match with a card called Inspector Border. And he also decided to side in at least 1 Cyber Dragon and just pretty much win the entire match. But what was very interesting during the final game is that the Altergeist player decided to activate this card and then steal the Trickstar player's Cyber Dragon, and the Altergeist player decided to just, you know what, I'm just going to take this Cyber Dragon and beat my opponent down with it. But then, the Trickstar player decided to activate Mind Control and to just take back that Cyber Dragon and then try and then win the game with it. Eventually, the Altergeist player decided, you know what, there really isn't anything else that I can do, so I'm just going to scoop, and then the Trickstar player won the entire championship. That card is Lullaby of Obedience. This is a very underrated card, and in case you guys don't know what this does, I'm going to read this out to you right now. Pay 2,000 life points and declare 1 monster card name. Your opponent looks at their deck, reveals one of the declared monsters if there is any, and chooses one of these effects to be applied. So basically this card lets you declare 1 monster name, and if your opponent happens to have at least 1 copy of that monster in his or her deck, then you can either add it to your hand, or you can special summon it to your field, ignoring its summoning conditions. Not sure if this works on ritual monsters though. If you guys know for sure, then let me know down in the comments. Think about using Lullaby of Obedience, especially since there are a lot of hand traps, and there are a lot of monsters that you just want to get out onto your field that could potentially change an entire game of Yu-Gi-Oh! So for example, let's say that you activate Lullaby of Obedience and you use it to steal an opponent's Ash Blossom, or a Droll Lockbird, or a Ghost Reaper. If your opponent tries to add a card from their deck to their hand, then you can Ash that. Or if your opponent tries to get out an extra deck monster that is pretty relevant, let's say ABC Dragon Buster, or Spiral Double Helix, or Nightmare Goblin, then you can just Ghost Reaper that, and then your opponent will have to come up with an entirely different strategy. Or how about anybody who is playing Nightmares in their deck? What you can do is that you can activate Lullaby of Obedience on your turn, and then you can steal your opponent's Nightmare Corruptor Ibli from their deck, and you are not completely disabled from getting out at least 1 monster on your board. So according to my reasoning, you can see why this is a pretty neat card, Lullaby of Obedience. However, there are some downsides to this. The problem with Lullaby of Obedience is that, let's say that you're going against a meta deck like Goki Nightmare. If you're going first, then Lullaby of Obedience would be a great card to use, so that way you can prevent your opponents from doing the Nightmare lock on you. However, if you're going second and your opponent already dropped the Ibli onto your field, then this would just pretty much be irrelevant. Also, you have to pay 2,000 life points in order to activate this card, and especially since the TCG has the new time rules, then your life points are pretty much more precious than ever. But still, I think Lullaby of Obedience is a pretty good tech card. I'm going to try this card out for myself, and I encourage you guys to try it out as well. So that's it for this episode of Player Tested, guys. Thank you all so much for watching. Be sure to leave suggestions down in the comments below with what other episodes of Player Tested that you think I should do. I do test hands, I do combo videos, I do card discussions for this series. Tell me what you guys would like to see next. Also, if you guys enjoyed this video and you want to help support the channel, then be sure to hit that like button. And of course, be sure to solemnly strike that subscribe button. Also, hit the notification bell so you'll be the first to know when I upload brand new Yu-Gi-Oh videos. Thanks for tuning in, everybody, and I'll see you next time.